Get ready to see the most unusual and rare historical photos. I will be glad to receive your subscription.
Red-haired beauty and actress Tina Louise, 1960s. Jules Verne, 1884. A family with their pet lion, which they raised for 2 years, 1959. German sledgers in new helmets. Austria, 1976. Sheikh Zayed reviews the Abu Dhabi construction plan, 1974. Women in Witch Costumes, 1875. Cleaning the nose of the statue on Easter Island during restoration work. Brunettes boycott the movie Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, 1953. The house bus of Ray Conklin, president of the New York Motor Bus Company, 1915. The Amazing Betty Brosmer, 1950s. A Turkish officer wearing a gas mask during an air raid. Istanbul, 1939. Musicians play for cows to find out if music affects the amount of milk produced by cows, 1930. A German submarine washed ashore in the British city of Hastings, 1919. The future leader of the Cuban Revolution, Fidel Castro, in New York Central Park, USA, 1955. KLM flight attendants spare polar clothing and weapons after the airline began flying over the North Pole, 1959. London Circus, 1930s. British actress Jessie Matthews in a huge headdress for the Evergreen Review, 1934. George Christopher, a bellboy, 14 years old. USA, 1914. British soldiers prepare Molotov cocktails from beer bottles as the country prepares for a possible Nazi invasion. The year is 1940. Harley with child safety seat, 1962. Men in Harlem gather in front of a store to listen to the radio, 1940. The Second World War. Readers continued to visit the library after it was bombed. London, 1940. Adolf Hitler delivers a speech for a strong Germany at the 7th Congress of the NSDAP, Freedom Congress. Zeppelin Stadium, Nuremberg, September 10, 1935. A woman and her dog in her one-room house, Texas, USA, 1938. Marilyn Monroe receives the Golden Globe in 1962 for the film Henrietta. Betty Brosmer, The Girl with the Impossible Waist, 1950s. A couple skating with their child, 1937. Queen Mary with Princess Mary, the royal princess, who is being driven over rough terrain on a tracked vehicle by army officers, 1920s. The scavenger strike in America, 1968. U.S. Army Sergeant Walter Goverec treats two French girls to sweets. The year 1944. Soviet and American aviators dance with girls at the Nome Airfield Club in Alaska. The year 1943. Albert Einstein left Germany in 1933 after the Nazis came to power and moved to the United States. Dolly Parton at home in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, 1960s. Shanghai merchant, 1938. Successful, confident, with a twinkle in his eyes. Shanghai is bustling, and this guy clearly knows how to catch his luck. Chinese women on high, 1980. Maintenance of high-voltage lines at the Fushan power plant. Courage and precision in every move are no joke. North Korea, Sinmak, 1950. A family of displaced people is hiding between the wagons. The Incheon landing of the United Nations turned everything around, but Chinese volunteers with the support of the USSR fought back. Chaos, flight, crowded trains. Photographer Max Desfort captured a moment of desperation and survival. The gates of Miyajima, Japan, 1930. Bright red. As if floating above the water, they are the symbol of Isukushima. A breathtaking shot. Vietnamese welder, 1975. Metal plating on a wheel set is not a job for wimps. Monotonous, but important. After welding, the metal will still be processed on a lathe. The Korean sailor, 1904. Resting under the sail, puffing on a bamboo pipe. Hemp clothing, tranquility. A frame from the collection of Cornell University. Japanese girls, 1930. Youth, smiles, traditional outfits. Lightness in every look. Jane Birkin in Vogue magazine, 1966. Women steelworkers. Sheffield, Great Britain, 1940. Plowing a field in the Red River Delta, Vietnam, 1952. A vivid example of how the illegal alcohol production and sale industry flourished in the United States during the Prohibition period, 1920 to 1933. Brooklyn Bridge and horse-drawn carriages, USA, 1918. A Japanese girl sorts pearls grown at the Kokichi Mikomoto Pearl Farm, 1949. In the post-war period, Japan sought to revive its war-ravaged economy, and the pearl business made a significant contribution to this process. A couple hugs in a convertible with a view of Los Angeles. California, Hollywood, USA, 1951. Rehearsal of American dancer Betty Dieringer in front of a mirror, 1947. Double-decker tram, Hong Kong, the 1960s. Untitled, from the series Pottery Town, Seto, Aichi, Japan, 1954. On February 12, 1957, a large fire broke out at the Jaguar factory located on Browns Lane, which destroyed a significant part of the production facilities. Miners take a shower after their shift at the coal mine. Great Britain, 1940. Flooding in Limburg due to the high level of the Meuse River. Netherlands, 1970. A couple rides a pulley at a fair in Hampstead Heath. London, England. The year is 1922. A babysitter bathes a child in the kindergarten of the Les Galeries Lafayette department store. Paris, 1929. Two girls enjoy ice cream while riding donkeys on the sands of Blackpool, 1937. Hats made by the company Messrs. Olney's is carried to the packing shop. Bedfordshire, 1933. A woman is working on a tapestry at a tapestry manufactory. Paris, 1945. Tapestries are created by weaving threads on a special loom and are often used as interior elements to decorate walls. Amphibious aircraft Sunderland Mark V, Royal British Air Force at Tower Bridge. London, the 1950s. Morning baguettes. Bakers with their products. France, 1968. Apparently, this is a family bakery. Similar establishments have existed in Western Europe for hundreds of years. A woman carries a heavy basket. The Netherlands, 1904. Annie Jones Elliott, 1865 to 1902, was an American bearded woman who toured with showman P.T. Barnum as a circus performer. Wedding portrait of a Mongolian couple, 1920. A unique beauty contest for the most beautiful eyes in the UK in 1936. A pramobile that was invented for the convenience of not only the child, but also the mother. London, England, early 1930s. Circus actress, Zurich, Switzerland, 1948. Caroline Kennedy walks ahead of her father, John F. Kennedy, who carries her doll. USA, 1963. British colonialists after tiger hunting, India, 1905. Ladies relaxing with milkshakes, England, 1954. King Constantine II of Greece, right, and Prince Juan Carlos I of Spain, left during karate sparring. Kirkara, Greece, 1966. Alfred Langwin was a man who could smoke a pipe with his eyes, 1930s. Oral X-ray machine, 1920s. Blessing of a new airplane before departure. France, 1915. Prototype of a horse-drawn carriage motorcycle, early 1900s. A woman in the Wild West wearing a hat and a mask designed to protect her skin from the sun's rays, 1903. A young couple listens to a gramophone on a pier, Germany, 1935. French actress Frances Dugnac, 1971. The V-shaped bed, invented in 1932, perfectly supports the body at every point and thus contributes to a better rest. Queen of Tobacco Contest, North Carolina, 1950s. Empress Nam Phuong, Vietnam, 1930s. The chef of the hotel gets to work. Scotland, 1932. Kaufmann's stunt cycling troupe in Germany in 1900. Marina Towers high-rise parking lot, Chicago, 1963. Count Henry de la Valks in a shockproof suit at the Victor Tatton monoplane trials in November 1907. The Count himself became famous for his balloon flight when, on October 9, 1900, he and his companions set a distance record by traveling 1,200 miles from Vincennes to Korostyshev near Kyiv in 35.75 hours. The first passenger train in the USA built in 1830 at the Railway Exhibition, Baltimore, USA. 1927. Bertha Benz is the wife of Karl Benz, a pioneer of the German automotive industry, and the world's very first woman behind the wheel. The year 1888. Jump through a puddle near Hyde Park, London, 1939. A delivery man in Derry, Ireland, 1934. He delivers buttermilk. Buttermilk is a skimmed cream, a by-product obtained during the production of butter from cow's milk. This is a unique type of tram that has long served as a symbol of the city of Blackpool on the northwest coast of England. This tram differs from other models in its open design, which allows passengers to enjoy the sea air and views of the city. Princess Margaret and Queen Elizabeth are hanging out. Great Britain, the 50s. A musical milkman on a London street, 1930. Music as a means of notification that a milkman has arrived. There is also a bell that is rung, and the whole neighborhood immediately realizes that some kind of merchant has arrived. Cheese contest at the Milk Exhibition in Olympia, London, 1951. Portraits of patients in an English lunatic asylum in the 1870s. Girls in bathing suits. England, 1919. Swimsuits of that time covered almost the entire body. They consisted of several layers of clothing. German doll of the 17th century. A buffalo-drawn wagon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 1900. By the time this picture was taken, the number of bison in America had dramatically decreased, leaving about 300 of them. A European moving in a hammock. Aleda, Benin, 1895. Two men are pictured working at the docks on the Thames. London, 1877. The women of the Egyptian harem in the store choose outfits and dresses, the end of the 19th century. A Tamil girl collects tea. Ceylon, 1891. In the middle of the 19th century, the British Empire began to actively develop tea plantations in Ceylon after coffee crops were destroyed by disease. An English hunter with his trophies. British India, 1883. An Englishman who, as Rudyard Kipling said, has the so-called white burden on his shoulders. These are the skulls of buffaloes, antelopes, Kootenai sheep, mountain goats, leopard skins, and other living creatures. A man riding a camel, circa 1856. Cheese market in Alkmaar, the Netherlands, 1900. Polish cabaret artistes, 1925. During a severe heat wave in Paris, 1928. A group of men are playing cards. Germany, 1904. Flower delivery. Paris, 1943. A woman washes clothes in a Portuguese fishing village in the 1950s. The Moulin Rouge dancers take part in the annual grape harvest celebration. Montmartre, Paris, the Fourth French Republic, the 1950s. During a severe heat wave in Paris, 1928. Mass polio vaccinations in the USA. 438 cars in 3 hours, 1962. Round goof boats, woven from twigs and coated with bitumen, have been gliding along the rivers of Mesopotamia for centuries. Waterproof, durable, they were an ingenious invention of the ancients. The Inuit build the igloo with the precision of engineers. Each snow block is a part of the perfect dome. It's not just a house, it's the art of surviving in an icy desert. 1924. Life is in full swing. Merchants, passers-by, rickshaws. An ordinary day in colonial Asia, full of colors and chaos. 1930. Bamboo poles filled with water are ingeniously simple. In Southeast Asia, this method of water delivery has been around for centuries. Ecology and ingenuity in one shot. 1930. Bananas of Guatemala, 1905. The plantations where the country's economy was born. Anna Coleman Ladd, an American sculptor who used her skills to create new prosthetic masks for soldiers injured in the First World War. Representatives of the Amish community who deliberately do not cut their hair for religious reasons. Dr. Wilhelm Urgens Pedersen demonstrates his new invention, a baby carriage that can climb stairs. November 26, 1956. Ambulance motorcycle, early 1900s. An experiment on teaching students under hypnosis. Students are put into a trance and listen to a recording of a lesson through headphones. Italy, 1963. Long hair contest. Madrid, 1927.
In 1905 to 10, Penn Station became the largest Beaux Arts architectural complex in the United States. The gates leading to the building resembled the Brandenburg ones in Berlin, and the waiting room was decorated in the style of the baths of Caracalla. 1880s, France, photographing a corpse for a police file. Tourists at the excavations of the Sphinx, Egypt, circa 1850. Boys playing, the Netherlands, 1935. The ostrich reads the newspaper of the caretaker, 1951. German soldier wearing a welding mask, 1941. Waiters in a Bavarian restaurant, Germany, 1933. A boy plays with a radio-controlled toy car, the Netherlands, 1957. Children ride a sled attached to a car, the Netherlands. Motorcycle football, England, 1923. Children in a music store listen to music through headphones. Vacationers sunbathe using a folding reflector, the Netherlands, 1961. A small trouser press shown at the Invention Exhibition in Westminster, England, 1936. Residents of London are taking refuge in the subway from the German bombing. The year 1940. Benito Mussolini with his pet lion cub. The installation of the German-Soviet border. The year 1939. Nanny's weekdays. The 19th century. Launching of the armored cruiser Variag, USA, on October 31st, 1899. A year later, the ship was transferred to the Navy of the Russian Empire. Chukchi teenagers 1901, Russia. The moment of the fall of the German dive bomber Ju-87 Stuka. A British truck transporting infantry through minefields is blown up by a mine. The Battle of El Alamein, October 1942. Soldiers of the 1st Infantry Division take cover from the fire of an undetected German sniper behind M4A3 Sherman tanks of the 745th Tank Battalion of the U.S. Army in St. Andreasburg, Germany. The procedure of ultraviolet irradiation at the London Children's Hospital, 1928. Adolf Hitler meets with the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, Amin al-Husseini, 1941. The Dancer from Folies Bergère, 1909. A Streetcar in San Francisco, 1947. St. Petersburg Athletic Society, Russian Empire, 1905. The husband teaches his wife to read and write. Pure Village, Far Eastern Territory, USSR, 1931. Planes of the Hell's Bell Squadron of the United States Marine Corps loom against the sky illuminated by anti-aircraft fire during the Japanese raid on Yontan Airfield, Okinawa, Japan, on April 28, 1945. Fashion show of new models of warm-up jackets for rural workers and paramilitary guards, 1953. A crush in a queue for toilet paper in a Tokyo supermarket, Japan, November 1st, 1973. Men sleeping on the Thames Embankment, London, 1902. In London on Sunday morning, men who received tickets lined up for a free breakfast from the Salvation Army Charity Organization, 1902. A policeman checks a sleeping man at the editorial office of the Truth newspaper, London, 1902. Damage assessment in Santa Rosa after the earthquake, California, 1906. Aborigines of Nuku Hiva, the largest island in the Marquesas Archipelago, 1907. A small family of Korean refugees hiding from the Japanese Army, Korea, 1904. Passengers of the ship SS Siberia sailed to Japan, the year 1904. American traveler and filmmaker Martin Johnson poses with a resident of the Solomon Islands. The Polly Trail, cliff on the island of Molokai, Hawaii, 1907. Jack London photographs the skeleton of the ship Snark, in which he sailed through the South Pacific Ocean in San Francisco Bay, 1906. Jack and Charmian London visit the Snark while it is under construction, San Francisco, 1906. An American Indian on the roof of Alcatraz prison in 1971, when the prison was occupied by Indians. Japanese man on a sailing boat on the background of Mount Fuji, 1890s. Fireworks on Red Square in Moscow in honor of the victory over Nazi Germany in 1945. A Soviet officer at the grave of the Austrian composer Johann Strauss's son, buried in the Central Cemetery of Vienna, 1945. Navruz Khan of Lalpur, with his followers, the Second Anglo-Afghan War, 1879. Shooting training in the women's unit of the Chinese National Revolutionary Army, Taiwan, 1950. On the runway, USSR, 1970. Drunk tank, Boston, 1930s. Tamale Mexican restaurant in Los Angeles, late 1920s. The Ford automobile plant in Detroit, Michigan in 1929. A British pilot trains a Soviet pilot, the Northern USSR, the Second World War, the end of 1941. Three-column mill in Ukraine, 1910. Former Italian prisoners of war on the street in Vienna on their way home from the USSR, 1950 Austria. A soldier next to a plaque with a quote from Hitler, "Give me 5 years and you won't recognize Germany." Berlin, 1945. Saturday Night Lumberjack, Craigville, Minnesota, 1937. Guglielmo Marconi transmits the first ever transatlantic signal, 1901. Russian soldiers enter Mukden, Russian-Japanese War, Manchuria, 1905. Water delivery to prisons and vegetable gardens, female forced labor, 1891. The miner is a convict. A miner pulls out a box of coal from the face, 1890. The caravan. Tea was transported by such wagons from China to Moscow, 1900. Meat market. Meat carcass trade, Kurgan, 1903. Unloading an icebreaker on Lake Baikal. View of the Academy of Arts, St. Petersburg. The flood occurred on November 12, 1903. American soldiers are laying a temporary airfield covering for a field airfield. Gina Lollobrigida. Finnish blacksmith Pirtti Maki with a bottle of vodka, which he received as a gift after standing in line all night and becoming the first customer of the Alko store after the abolition of Prohibition. The Republic of Finland, April 5, 1932. Performance of the National Symphony Orchestra on the Potomac River, USA, March 1942. A soldier treats a porcupine to a delicious nut, London Zoo, 1940. A collective festive lunch at the 27th Guards Tank Brigade, 1st May, 1943, Voznesenovka Village. 90-year-old Mr. Frank Foss from St. Petersburg, Florida, USA, with his banjo made from a frying pan and other improvised materials on July 2, 1972. Masters in the manufacture of diving equipment. Exercises at the base in Cornwall, 1961. The British Land Rover is transported using a system proposed by the Australians along two strung wires, using special attachments on the wheels. Artist Henri Matisse, painting on the wall next to his bed a few months before his death in 1954. The launching of the battleship Giulio Cesare at the Ansaldo shipyard on October 15, 1911. English children are learning Christmas carols. Messerschmitt K R175 by Elvis Presley, the 1950s. Richard Burton, Claudia Cardinale, and Elizabeth Taylor at a party at the Ca Vendramin Kalergi Palace during the Venice Film Festival in 1967. Polar Bear, examining a submarine, Arctic Circle, 1967. Unsuccessful launch of the first American satellite, 1957, USA. The General Motors Futureliner bus at the Progress Parade, 1939. Mark Twain in the Houses of Parliament, London, 1907. Niki Lauda's accident at the German Grand Prix in Nürburgring. Having received burns and gas poisoning, the racer fell into a coma on August 1, 1976. A warrior from the Ifugao bounty hunter tribe, the Philippines. Stevie Wonder in a boarding school for blind children, 1970, London. Workshop of Children's Pedal Cars, AZLK, 1970. German police officers blindfold Polish women who were taken by bus to be shot in the vicinity of the village of Palmyra, the surroundings of Warsaw, presumably 1940. Soldiers of the British occupation forces play football on the sports ground of the former Order of Vogelsang Castle, the Rhineland region, the British occupation zone of Germany. The year is 1945. Janssen Should Air swimsuit advertisement featuring Loretta Young, 1932.
Friends, subscribe and write your opinion in the comments.